Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick video here on a question that seems to pop up quite often regarding an easy way to tell the difference between the two types of receiver extensions on AR pattern rifles. Basically, this is a way to a quick visual look to tell the difference if you have a commercial spec or a Mil-Spec, or if you're looking at a commercial spec or Mil-Spec receiver extension, also known as the buffer tube. One of the quickest way, but not the most accurate way by far, is to see if it's got a slanted back. Most of the commercial spec receivers have slanted backs. There are known Mil-Spec receivers with slanted backs, but they're not very common, so you're not very likely to encounter one. Usually, if it's got a flat back, it's a Mil-Spec. Now, the other quick way to tell is actually in the way the threads are cut into the body of the receiver extension. With commercial spec receiver extensions, they just basically have a rough cut tube, and they do all their finished machining for the the slots and stuff for the stock to slide into, and then they just cut the threads into the body of the tube, and that's pretty much it. And then it's anodized or whatever. But what the result of that is that the threads are the same height as the body of the tube. Let me put this on macro here. Hopefully you can see this. Now, if you look closely, you can see that the height of the thread pitch or whatever is the same height as the body of the rest of the receiver extension tube. So, I mean, that's to save machining steps. And it's, it makes a cheaper part. And now let's take a look at the Mil-Spec receiver extension, and we'll actually see that the threads are actually taller than the body of the receiver extension, because after the threads are cut into the receiver extension, they actually machine down the body to a smaller diameter, to the diameter that's specified in the technical data package for the AR pattern rifle. And so that results in the threads actually being taller than the rest of the tube versus the commercial spec, which is the same height. So if you have raised threads on your receiver extension, it's got to be a Mil-Spec. I don't see how it couldn't be, because otherwise the threads would have to be bigger than the tube diameter if you had a commercial spec tube, and then it wouldn't even fit into the back of the lower receiver because the threads would be too tall. So that's just a quick way to visually identify and visually discern what kind of what spec part you're looking at. From a strength standpoint, I don't think it really matters too much. Most civilians aren't going to put their rifle through the kind of abuse that you would notice a difference, I don't think. But it's nice to know you have the Mil-Spec diameter, because there seems to be a bit more support from the top tier brands that make accessories for the Mil-Spec standard. Thing to be aware of, though, actually, that just because it's a Mil-Spec diameter doesn't mean it's Mil-Spec construction. Mostly the material can be different. There's 60-65 aluminum and 70-75, whatever, and 51-50 and whatever. I don't know. I'm not a metallurgist. I really don't think anyone would notice the difference. Like I said, from a civilian standpoint. In the military, that's a whole nother story. I mean, they need the best, and there's no question that you'd want a properly manufactured part in that role. But for most civilian shooters, just get yourself a decent quality Mil-Spec diameter tube, and you should be fine. At least I'm not going to worry too much about it. So I guess I'll just wrap it up. That's all I wanted to talk about today, was just a quick way to tell the difference visually. All right, thanks for watching.